Hello everybody, it's Alan. I am here to give you an update on my hormone levels. Super exciting. Um, I got blood work done recently and met with my doctor this morning, and since I had mentioned this stuff in one of my recent videos and I had raised my dose a couple times in the last 6 or 8 months, I just wanted to give you an update because people always wonder about what dose to do and so forth. Um, so, quick summary. For the first couple months of my transition, I was on 0.5 milliliters per week, which was 100 milligrams of testosterone. But that made my testosterone levels way too high, and the doctor thought it was not good. So I went down to 0.25 milliliters, which is 50 milligrams of testosterone each week for pretty much all of my transition up until like 8 months ago or so. Because around that time, my female hormone levels were high, like in the female range, and my testosterone levels were okay, but sort of towards the somewhat lower end of normal. And also, I have not much facial hair and not much body hair, so I had wondered what was up with that. So I increased my dose to 0.3 each week for a couple months or so, and then I went up to 0.4 starting in like April of this year, which was like 4 months ago or something. And so I have just gotten the information about how I'm doing on 0.4 milliliters weekly, which is 80 milligrams of testosterone intramuscular injection. So, before, back when I was on 0.3, my estradiol, or however you say it, was 80, which, as you can see, is much higher than the male range, which is supposed to be no more than 42. It's within all of these different female ranges for different parts of the female cycle. So that was kind of high, and then my testosterone was 691, which, as you can see here, it's fine. It's in the middle, 300 to 1,080. So now on 0.4 milliliters a week, my estradiol has gone down from 80 to 29. So I like that. So it's definitely in the male range, and it's lower than some of these female ranges. So that's good. And since raising my dose, I've not had any of the spotting, which I had just a couple of times, just the tiniest amount before I went up to 0.4. So, haven't had that. That's good. And let's see. Oh yeah. So the testosterone now. So it says 571, and I was like, what? I was at 691, and I dramatically or significantly increased my dose, and it's gone way down. But then I saw that it was done at a different lab. So this other lab has the normal range of 241 to 827. So different labs do it different ways. So I think my testosterone has gone up, though, because if you look at the top one, which is when I was on a somewhat lower dose, The bar where I am, it's like halfway through in the normal range, and then this one is a bit farther than halfway in that little rectangle. And I mean, if you calculate where I am within the normal range of those numbers, that's how it is. So it does seem like it went up. And I mean, I asked my doctor about this, and she said that these numbers are not necessarily like that precise or that accurate, because she said even if a lab tests the exact same sample 2 times, you could get slightly different numbers. And you can have different levels of hormones or blood count or whatever, either during the course of the day or due to things going on in your life, or tiny fluctuations in health, or any of that. So that gave me some perspective, because I'm always like examining the numbers and like looking for trends and like so she was like, you're just looking for a general like ballpark idea of how things are going based on these numbers, basically. So yeah, my female hormone's gone down, testosterone has gone up, and it's fine, looking good. So she said I could go up to 0.5 milliliters per week if I want, but I don't know that I have a reason to do that, because my levels are fine, I feel fine. As I said before, I've had an increased rate of facial hair growth and body hair growth, so it's actually doing something now. So, yeah, we'll see. Another thing that I thought you might be interested in, if you're somebody who is really into the numbers and the details of health like I am, has to do with the liver test, which I have done like every time, I guess. So I saw that these numbers of the CMP, which I think is metabolic panel, or I don't know. It's like glucose, calcium, and then liver enzymes or whatever, I don't know what they are. So it's all fine, except you can see here I'm really high on TBIL, which is bilirubin, which is produced by the liver or goes through the liver, and it is what is produced by the breakdown. Oh yeah, it's produced by the liver when the liver breaks down old red blood cells. Pretty sure. And it's sort of processed or like let out through the gallbladder and goes into your intestines, and then that's how you get rid of it in part. And if you have too much of it, it can sometimes be a symptom of liver problems, and bilirubin is what makes people jaundiced, like yellow skin and yellow eyes, if they have a really significant liver problem. But she said that mine at 2.3, even though it's twice as much of the normal, which is supposed to be no more than 1, she said it's really not a problem. She said you've got to have like 15 or 20 or something to have problematic jaundice. So she said don't worry about that at all, or that was the implication. So that made me feel better, because this TBIL, bilirubin, has been high for me like that pretty much the whole time I've been on testosterone. And so one thought I have is that for sure my red blood cell count did go up when I started testosterone, because testosterone does lead to more production of red blood cells, as I understand, and that's part of why people who are on testosterone systems may be more likely to have more cardio endurance, I guess, statistically speaking, because the red blood cells carry oxygen to your muscles, so that gives you more endurance. Yeah, so I have more red blood cells, which I can see from the tests over time. So the liver is breaking down more red blood cells, which would lead to more bilirubin. So that's why it's increased on testosterone. But it's not, it's just mostly staying the same. I mean, it's not like spiraling out of control or anything like that. And okay, oh yeah, so an important thing that you might find interesting is that my doctor said that it's really like the other liver things, like the ALK, pH, and the AST and ALT, that would be more of an indication of liver problems. And all of those are in the normal range for me, so that signals that my liver is fine. And then another thing, so interestingly or weirdly, my doctor said that there are a couple of harmless conditions that people might have, or that I personally might have, that lead to high bilirubin. And one of them that she thinks I might potentially have is a genetic disease, but harmless, called Gilbert's syndrome, which is Gilbert's with the English pronunciation. The guy was French, I guess. So it's a condition where you just have a lot of bilirubin because you don't have an enzyme that helps to break it down or something like that. And it's harmless because the bilirubin doesn't do any harm, at least at the levels that I've got, and you can excrete a lot of it through your intestines, so it's not endlessly building up. So I found that quite interesting. I mean, it's nice that it's a harmless genetic disease, so if I actually do have it, I don't know, I've never, I mean, I don't have anything else like that, so it's just sort of an interesting thing to think about. It makes me feel a little special. No. Yeah, so I'm glad I asked her some questions. She's a really wonderful doctor. She answered my questions. She's really nice, relaxed. So I feel lucky that I have her. I think that's about all that I wanted to tell you. Yeah, I mean, everything else in all my tests is just fine, so I don't know. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. Bye.